What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Don't Keep Up with the Joneses. 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 What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of the Jones Family Channel. It's me, Rickey Jones Jr., and we also have the also lovely
Chrystle Jones.
back again for another episode, ladies and gentlemen, in which I'm excited to get into this one because I was having a conversation with our immigration attorneys, which, you know, that's what you do. When you move to a new place, you have conversations with them and check in with them just to make sure all is well and everything is going the way you desire to do so. Yeah. And quick plug, if you are looking for an attorney, a link will be down below to the ones that we use, and make sure you let them know the Jones Ascension. You'll get that Jones treatment. However, in our discussion, which frames the framework of this video, they were just talking about how a lot of different Americans are reaching out to them, particularly Americans are reaching out to them about making the move over to South Africa. And in their conversations amongst the people and then amongst each other, they are so shocked that most people are looking to move to Johannesburg as opposed to Cape Town. So that's fun, right?
Yeah.
Because the attorney's office is located in Cape Town, and they do have one here in Johannesburg. However, the thought was that, man, when people come here to SA, they want to come to Cape Town.
Right.
And it's fun. It's a fun conversation that we have had while being here, right? And then amongst others that have come from various parts of the States. Yeah. However, in this video, we're going to share, like, what Cape Town is like, because we've been to Cape Town, what Joburg is like, and we have a little information based off of other people, what they say Durban is like. And a lot of people don't talk about Port Elizabeth, but all is well.
But you've been there before as well.
Right, we may dab in there. However, let's first, which one you want to do first, Cape Town or Joburg?
I'll say let's do Joburg. Okay,
so Joburg, right, has so many different pockets, so many different things. As you watch our various vlogs and videos on this channel, you'll see us exploring, going to different places, still finding and discovering new places, and really, there are a lot of places we haven't been to.
Yes.
And so, for me, it's hard to like pinpoint where I would say Johannesburg relates to or coincides with in the States. However, when we first moved here, most people were like, oh, Johannesburg is like New York City. And I'm like, okay, I can see why you would say that, largely because the Johannesburg Stock Exchange is just like right outside this window. We can see it from our apartment. Yeah. However, like,
to me, it doesn't give New York vibes. I feel like people that are in Johannesburg say it's like New York, maybe based on some of the things they've seen on TVs or in the movies or what have you. Yeah. Or maybe they've traveled to the States and they've been to New York and not maybe to visit some of the other states, and so that's why they say that. To me, Johannesburg is not like New York. Okay. It's not. Personally, in my opinion.
Yes.
I would say Johannesburg is more like a Washington, D.C. Okay. And I know a lot of people probably don't travel from Joburg to D.C., but I say it because it is a very major metropolitan area. Okay. There are definitely some business people here. They're getting things done.
That's true.
They're working. They have affluency financially. Like, that's some of the things that you can see, specifically, of course, in Stanton, but throughout Joburg, like, it is a large metropolitan city. And then they do have the tall buildings. They have some, you know, skyscrapers or whatnot. New York is a concrete jungle. Like, you can't see the sky for the buildings in the way.
Especially
almost.
In Manhattan.
Like, it's insane. Yeah. So, and then I would also say New York is like so much of like a 24-hour city. That is one of the things that makes New York, New York. It is open all day and all night. Things close early here in Johannesburg.
4 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening.
Listen, like, you're not getting a 24-hour like just life in Johannesburg, and so that's another reason that I say it's not like New York to me personally. Again, I lean more towards a DC, maybe even a Houston, because Houston's also another major metropolitan city in Tampa. And I also say that because culturally, like, you do see a lot of African Americans in these cities. And so, yeah, I would say it's maybe more like a Houston or like a DC.
Whereas I would say Johannesburg most resembles to me like Atlanta. Largely because, to a point that you just made, there are a lot of African Americans that move to Atlanta. A lot of movers and shakers are in Atlanta. The music industry, film industry, people that are doing businesses and things like that are making their move to Atlanta, and things aren't as expensive in Atlanta, which are reasons why people are making that move there. And then they have sports and activities, and the culture is rich and it's diverse, right?
It's
and
very
so
diverse.
That's what gives me the feel like Johannesburg, to me, is like Atlanta. And then as well, the city of Atlanta has the skyscrapers and tall buildings, but there's not a lot of them. Right, just like here in Johannesburg, they do have the skyscrapers. They do have the CBD, which is the Central
Business District.
Boom. At one time, right? But nonetheless, there are a lot of tall buildings there, but not so much so like the New York vibe, where you feel suffocated, right? In the concrete jungle, with the other idea of it's a city that never sleeps. Well, Atlanta, there's things that, have their times,
late nights.
but then they're also big on the nightlife, which I have heard, because I haven't experienced myself, but I've heard that Johannesburg has a huge nightlife type scene. And so if you want to go out to a club, if you want to go out to a lounge, if you want to do hookah, whatever your thing is, there are plenty of opportunities here, as it is in Atlanta. And Atlanta just keeps popping up with various attractions and things like that. And so to me, and then you have a theme park, right? Theme parks, and so it's like you have that correlation, but then you also have big houses, fancy cars, but then there's certain places that you just don't want to go to in Atlanta as well as there are here.
And I was gonna just say, I actually think I might shift my vote a little bit. It is kind of like DC. It can kind of be like Houston, but it is probably most like Atlanta, just because of all the things that you just named. The diversity in income, the diversity in like what you can do, what you can look to experience. They don't not ever sleep, but they do stay up late if they want to.
Parties don't stop till 6 in the morning.
Yeah, they have after hours things and different stuff like that. And I had to plug it. Keep watching, because we're actually from Atlanta, and so you're going to be able to see some of Atlanta.
That's true.
Coming up here soon on the channel. So make sure you're staying tuned, subscribing, so you don't miss out on that. If you're wondering, what do our back hometowns look like? You're going to get to see Tampa and Atlanta coming up soon. But definitely, I feel like you're right. It's like Atlanta. If you've ever been to Atlanta, you'll get a good feel. And because in Atlanta they have the Southern hospitality.
They do have it.
And so you're going to get more of that nicety that you don't necessarily get in
other states.
Definitely not going to get it in New York.
Definitely not going to get it in New York. And I would also say that the thing that makes me say this is like Atlanta is because just like Atlanta, there are different pockets of places, right? You have the city of Atlanta, then you have North Georgia, then you have Sandy Springs, and it's similar to here. You have Santon, you have Rosebank, you have Waterfall, you have Four Ways, right? And the list goes on. So there are a lot of different similarities of that. However, like I said, I can get how some would say it's like New York, right? Because you have the stock exchange, which is a major part about New York, which makes New York New York. It's the New York Stock Exchange, right? And so there's that here. But then there's also that city hustle and bustle. People come here to make money, to make it, and to thrive, and to grow, and things like that. In which I do get that sense here. People do come to Johannesburg from various parts of SA, right? Because we saw that a lot in December where people left. And,
going back home to their places, and it's like, oh man,
where's everybody? You know what I'm saying? And so I say that to say maybe I need to go where the people go. I do want to go to Limpopo. I do want to go to Swaziland, different parts outside of the city, right? Yeah. In which even talking to other people that are here, that are not necessarily from here, they would say how like it's a lot of concrete, right? And so it gives that New York connotation to concrete jungle. So I can get to your point how one would look at TV or one would look at movies or videos and things like that and say, oh, we're like that. But truth be told, like Atlanta,
it's more like Atlanta. And I was going to say too, there's a lot more walking in New York than you see here in like the city on the streets and stuff. Like, it's so many people walking everywhere, and y'all be walking. I'm not taking that from you. But
I do too. I be out there walking.
All night, walking. All day, 24 hours, it's packed. And so, and
it's a lot of tourist attractions in New York, right?
Yeah, that's a part.
And so that's a part of it. So if I was to like say New York was like anywhere else in the world, I would most likely say London. Because London has a lot of different things. But nonetheless, here we are. We're talking about SA.
Yes.
And so, boom, we have done Johannesburg. And y'all let us know if you visited here from anywhere in the States or anywhere around the world, what does Johannesburg feel like to you? What could you correlate it to? It's always fun, right, to connect different people, because when you make these correlations, when you make these comparisons, it allows for people that hasn't been here to be able to see or to feel or to get a pulse of what it will be like once they make the visit, or what it could be like if they make the move. You know what I'm saying? So it helps one another. It helps us all out. So let us know in the comment section below. However, let's go to Cape Town, right? In which we did have the pleasure of visiting. We went there a day, right? Check out that video. We went on Christmas Day, actually, for my mom's birthday while they were here. And so we were able to get in, get out, but explore all the same. What would you say? I'll let you go first this time. What would you say Cape Town is like in the States? What state?
So for me, I would say Cape Town gives Miami vibes. Okay. And Miami is in South Florida. It's about 4 hours actually from where I was raised. So yeah, I would say it gives like Miami vibes, maybe low-key Cali. Okay. So yeah, somewhere between California and Miami, which can be very similar places.
It can be.
In general.
Depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, it can be very similar. Yeah. But at the same time, it's definitely like an East Coast, West Coast, you know.
Rivalry.
Miami could never, LA could never, like, you know, it depends on who you ask, like you said. So, but I would say between those two, either Southern California or Miami.
Okay, and I would say that Cape Town reminds me most of a mixture of the Key West, of Laguna Beach, and of Manhattan Beach, which those two are in California. And maybe a little sprinkle of, where did we go for our honeymoon?
You said Key West. I've never even been to Key West. You've been to Key West?
I've been to Key West. I've been to Key West twice.
That's shocking.
In Florida, the southernmost part of Florida is Key West.
It's shocking because I grew up in Florida. Yeah. And never went to Key West.
Now, Key West is a peculiar place. I've been there on cruises. Okay. And so, nonetheless, in it all, going to Key West. Why Key West? Because they have the colorful type vibes. Like, if you're looking for color, homes, and different spaces and places, nooks and crannies, Key West is that spot. Now, you will have those in Miami. However, like, boom, you're going to have that. And then in Cape Town, you have that strip of property, that area where there's various colors. And then it does do that in other parts of Cape Town. As we were driving, we saw that. So that's why the Key West correlation works for me there. But then as well, I'm going to take us over to Cali, because you have the waterfront, you have the beaches. A lot of the beaches there that we went to were cold beaches in California, and I didn't too much care for that. And so that's why you have the Manhattan Beach type vibe and things like that. But then you have the Malibu, right? And I say Malibu because as you drive through Malibu, you have the nice homes and the mountains and the water on one side. So it gives you like that picturesque type vibe and feel and drive that you can also
to Cape Town.
Get in Cape Town. You know what I'm saying? And that was fun to make that journey and to drive through. I forgot what it's called. Y'all can let us know in the comment section. But to drive it, to have the water and rail on one side, and then the mountains, and then like the fences and nets on First of all, it was beautiful to see, but I was nervous at the same time, truth be told. Because what I did want to do is, you know what I'm saying, flop all over the rail. But then it was windy too. And so like so all of windy. That is what went into my thought process. However, as well in California, houses, real estate, living is higher. Right, than other parts of the states, which I understand that Cape Town is definitely more expensive than Johannesburg, right? Because of the views, because of the beach, because of the ambiance, the scenery, and the view that you won't get anywhere. So I will say, you know what I'm saying, Cape Town has the views.
I would definitely agree. Like when it comes to landscaping and weather, it's very much like California. Yeah, I definitely agree. As far as like the windy season, you're gonna get that wind in Malibu for sure. Yeah. You're also gonna get some of those mountainous type views. Yeah. And so those are two things that I would agree. It definitely is very similar. When I say Miami, I'm definitely thinking about the beaches, because there's beaches, the cost of living, because it can be extremely expensive
in Miami
to live in Miami, to do anything in Miami.
Very true.
And then I also heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, I also heard that people in Cape Town can be a little uppity. A bit. And you definitely gonna catch that if you're in Miami. It's a very exclusive type city. Yes. So that also made me think of that. And then there's a very rugged like type artistic district as well in Miami. And so that made me think of Cape Town as well. Not just the polished artistic products that you receive out of like in LA from the studios and stuff, but there is also a more ground roots artistic district that you get in Miami. They do professional films there as well, but it made me think of that like that type of creativity when I linked it to Miami. So yeah, but I think we're in the same states. Florida and California.
Why? Because it's coastal. It has the oceans, therefore the beaches, and then the property along the water that you can have that, you know what I'm saying, home, but then also the view at the same time. However, I will say Cape Town is definitely unique because not only do you have the oceans and the views and the drives, but you also have those two mountains, right? You have Table Mountain and you have, I think it's like Lion's Head or something like that. Mountain there that I don't know if you can climb it, but you can go up. And you can have that view out like that, which there are parts of LA that gives you that type, you know, I can run up a trail and see over the city and things like that.
They have mountains too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right, but not like the ones in Cape Town, you know what I'm saying? So they have that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see because even with Table Mountain, you have that flat surface of a mountain, but then the clouds that hover over
it. Which is beautiful.
Which is beautiful. Like, it's something to see. The clouds looking like a tabletop. And that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If I do this, it's smear fingers. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. There's a movie for that. However, in it all, with it all, the mountains have that cloud just hovering over it. And it's a beautiful sight to see. And so, you know, there's that, right? But then we have been told that Durban most resembles like Florida and that it's warm, it's humid in most parts of the year, and
they have
beaches, right, that you can, you know, frequent and have fun at and things like that. So we haven't been. I think
we haven't.
Yeah, we talked about going and things like that, especially when it was cold, which now we're coming up on to the cold season, right? As we go into June and July. However, we are leaving and not just going to Durban, but beyond. And we'll tell y'all about that for a vacation, okay?
But it definitely sounds like Durban could possibly be a lot like Tampa in the sense of like weather, because in Tampa, it doesn't really, it's normally at least 80 degrees. I don't care what season it is. Spring, summer, winter, fall.
Right.
80 degrees.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in Celsius.
Nah. Google I don't either. That's it.
Google it. Or drop it in the comments for us, please. But yeah, so maybe it could be like that. It's so, and then we have like the beaches in Tampa. So it seems like it could be like that. We have the cruises that port in Tampa as well, just like they have them in Durban. So it seems like Durban could be like that. I look forward to visiting to see like, oh, is this like a home away from home?
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Yeah, another home away from home.
Another home away from home.
Hello, right? I mean, and so it's beautiful. But then you also have Port Elizabeth, which I don't see many people in the comments saying that they're from Port Elizabeth and whatnot. However, when I had the opportunity to go with my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, my brother, you know what I'm saying? We had a great time. It was cool. It's a coastal city as well, and they do have like casinos and things, so it's like cool because they have the coast, they have hotels along the coast, but then they also have like casinos that are right there as well. And so it's a nice mixture. Like at one point I thought, okay, this is like Vegas. It has like Vegas vibes because of the casino. However, like I said, it's on the coast, so it's not completely like Vegas,
which is in a desert.
Correct. It's in a desert. And so
you'll be able to see that soon.
There it is, right? All that to say, you always try to link back to what you know. Are there casinos in Miami? I don't think so.
Probably.
There might be.
I can't say 100%, but I feel like 80% confident that there's a casino in Miami.
Respect.
Like
so maybe
in
like
Florida,
Jersey.
there's a lot of casinos because just like the Indian land and whatever, and so then they make casinos.
Yeah.
So a lot of the cities in Florida have casinos.
So as you said that, I thought about Atlantic City, which is like New Jersey type vibe, like up north. So it's not cold like up north, but it gives you that casino, Coney Island type deal. Not necessarily with the Ferris wheel, because that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think Coney Island. However, in it all with it all, there's the water, there's the casino situation, and there are hotels and whatnot. And the people are very nice. Like the people are very nice. That was my first time experiencing grape Tizer. However, there also is a lot of seafood there, which I do miss here in
Johannesburg. We might need to go take a visit.
I'm sure it's in Durban too. I think it's coastal.
But it sounds so nice. I want to go there. I didn't get to go. I was pregnant with our first child, Rain.
Yes.
So I cried. I'm not even gonna lie. I cried. I wanted to go so bad.
Yes.
But I was like 8 months pregnant.
Right.
Oh, I couldn't go.
No, she was at the limit.
I cried. I wanted to go.
No. Yeah. And it was a beautiful time with beautiful people.
Yeah.
And so all that to say, hey, let us know in the comment section below if you all have other comparisons or similarities that you can throw to help us all have the understanding of what and how this world isn't as big as we think it is. Like, we are a lot alike in so many ways. However, we are unique, and our culture is unique in how we are as people, and therefore unique in how we get to interact with one another when we do come in contact with each other. So
yeah, and I was gonna say, don't just say where you think it's like, tell us why.
That is good too.
Put the why. It's like this place because. And even if it's not a place in the States that you're comparing it to.
True.
It could be any country around the world.
That would be awesome.
Like that you're
That'll
like,
be better.
it's like this city. It's like that city. Because we know everybody gets the opportunity to travel to so many different places.
Yep.
So tell us, what city is it like? If it's a country in Africa, if it's a country somewhere else, like, let us know.
Yeah.
Wherever it is.
That's it. Especially Australia. I'm curious to know, because I know people that have been watching and that are from SA that now live in Australia that wants to get back. What places in Australia have similarities to South Africa that you all can share with us, or other parts of the country, or excuse me, continent itself. So fun times, good times. I'm excited to get into these comments. I'm excited that y'all stuck to it. This video, and we appreciate you all. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, because Chrystle dropped some driblets of what's to come on this here channel that you want to be a part of for the month of June and beyond, truth be told, because I know great things are in store for us as a family, and especially as we share on this channel. So we love you all. We appreciate you all. Hit that thumbs up button, share it with somebody, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace.